the age of cryptocurrency, how Bitcoin and digital money are challenging the global economic order, who, after 18 years at the Wall Street Journal, is now a senior advisor to the Digital Currency Initiative at MIT's Media Lab. But he's not traveling the world speaking on this very topic. He's here with us today, Michael Casey.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Regard Avi is an inspiration, in fact, a fabulous student to have had last year when I came in rather nervously, leaving the warmth of the Wall Street Journal, a place I'd been for 18 years, and sort of scarily turning up at MIT and having to act like I'm an academic, which is a little bit of a myth. But the enthusiasm of the students that I encountered was the most exciting thing of all, the people that would come to you with this sort of bright ideas about how we might change the world. It's a fabulous place to have a meeting of minds who can explore what the ramifications of something like this is. And that's great for me, because this was a revelation, this technology. It's one of these things when the penny drops is an expression that actually Americans don't know very much. I suppose it's the light bulb going off, but this is we Aussies and Englishmen talk about the penny dropping. The penny drops at some point, and you suddenly realize that there actually is something profoundly different about how something like this could manage the way we keep track of history. Right? So and this is what's interesting about it. It's not, we thought of it first, Bitcoin as a currency, and this purpose of keeping the ledger of how currencies and balances are transferred for the sake of monetary exchange. And then you start to realize that actually and this is, you have to be careful, this is hype here, but at the same time, the hype is useful because it gives you a kind of a star to look at about where these things might go. But I'm going to say it, and that is that we have the potential to build the very first record of history that can never, ever be changed. And if you think about the ramifications of that through history, and titling, land title is possibly the most important record in some respects that we have about who we are as a society and how everything is built on that. I'm a firm believer in Ananda de Soto's vision of this. You then have the capacity, or have had in the past the capacity, throughout history for the usurpers, the next regime that comes in to basically destroy and denigrate everything that was the previous ones by destroying the records. Without the records, we kind of don't have a society, right? So this is really, really important stuff. It's hard to get your head around. Lots of big words, cryptography and hashes and these things. But they really are substituting for a lot of complicated stuff that we've built up over millennia, right? These land registry systems, these titling systems, these records of ownership, and the kind of social and cultural mechanisms around which we formulate this sense of who we are and who owns what. That in itself, to me, if I was to dig deep into it, you'd actually realize that it's incredibly complex as well, but we just take it for granted. So we're talking about substituting and changing something fairly profound. So without further ado, so we can dig more deeply into this, I'm going to introduce the rest of the panel. So let's have Christian Saucier up here. Christian is the CTO at Ubitquity. I'm going to let the panelists tell you more about what they do. Dan Doney from C Currency, where's Dan? Here he is. Dan's been working actually with some startups that came out of the same class, or a startup that came out of the same class that Avi was on with me last year. And Avi, of course, take your seat.
All right.
Put you in the middle.
Thanks, guys.
Best in the house.
Chris, I saw you guys going after each other